Hi, let's talk rocks. Today's author commentary on the Rock Talk book, How to Be Happy in All Your Relationships, is about sex and shame, two of the most driving forces in our lives. We will run like hell away from shame, and we will run through hell to get sex. It's amazing what life boils down to. Sex and shame. So, on that topic, how can we learn how to be happy and get a better sex life going on? Well, you can start by reading this book. It's not a book about sex, it's a book about happiness. But when you are having happiness in your life and peace, you're going to have better sex, because here's what happens with Rock Talks. You use the Love Above Wristband law. It's a Rock Talk law, three easy steps called SUM, shame utilization method, so you can use that horrible feeling to your advantage. And what happens when we're happy is that we stop being in flight or fright, those times when we have shame. So it only makes sense that for impotence with men, there's constricted blood veins. And that's because they're having control issues most of the time, or they're having physical issues with high cholesterol or plaques on their veins. But we're just talking about the emotional part of sex right now, and shame. So if a person is feeling shame, both men and women become impotent. They can't get blood flow to the genital area because the veins are constricted. So Rock Talks helps you to be happy so that your veins are open so you can have that blood flow going on. So let me tell you a little bit about how to raise that blood flow even more. Let's talk about testosterone and oxytocin. If you do a Rock Talk, there's real rocks in your kit to play a game called a Rock Talk. There's a white understanding rock. If a man uses that with his lover, that will raise her oxytocin immensely because she feels accepted. Now, for the man, if he knows he's doing a good job of doing that, his testosterone's going to go up. So that's good for both of them. So as her oxytocin is going up, his testosterone is going up, well, they're suddenly in the mood for love. And they make love, and after making love, well, let me add a little side note. When semen hits the cervical walls, there's a little more testosterone for the woman. She gets raises in testosterone during sexual activity. She does not get it during anger. Otherwise, women would be constantly angry because there'd be such a huge payoff. But that don't work. Women are trying to get peace and good conversation going on and understanding. That's what they're fighting for, is intimacy. So, or the man is. It's usually the woman though, because she's more relational, she has the oxytocin going on more of the time, and she has less testosterone. Testosterone, it raises when a man is competitive. If he has higher testosterone, he has more aggression. So that's just natural for a man. So the two work together. Men and women work really well together if they communicate well, and that's what Rock Talks helps you to do. So back to the bedroom. So they've made love, her testosterone went up a little bit, and her oxytocin was really thrillingly high. I mean, it was like ecstasy for her, so she was totally being herself and giving the best sex she possibly could, way better than a prostitute or a magazine or anything. Now, what about the man? Well, his testosterone went up a lot too, and now it's over. She's doing the glowy thing and wants to be held, but there's a reason for that, because that is when the male's oxytocin is up out the roof. It's really high, and that is when he's most empathetic. He's most capable of bonding. So it's natural that the woman is laying there wanting to be held, and the man, if he understands Rock Talks, he will want to do that. He won't want to run away afraid because he wants to stay close. He will want to be vulnerable, and he will take advantage of his oxytocin, and he'll share because it will be so much easier, and they can get so much more bonded, and they would be so much more happier. And that kind of sex is like doing it with ecstasy. There's no better way. I mean, if a man understands, and women understand how important being vulnerable is, they don't run off and add more shame on their heads and get all weighted down with unhappiness because they are partaking in things they shouldn't be partaking in, like pornography or extramarital affairs. That just adds more shame and more depression and more, or drugs, you know. If we figure out how to do it right, and I mean how to do sex right, there's not going to be a need for the sex industry, and that in itself could stop human trafficking. This could stop human trafficking if people understood how important it is to be vulnerable and to get past the fears that they have with that and follow the Love Above wristband that helps you to utilize your shame, the shame utilization method, and 3 easy steps so that you can have joy and peace and happiness. So that's your sex talk for today. Thanks.